Top 5 favorite Luna moments. Number 5. The Luna Zoe Hug, Chapter 806, Episode 755. If you were to tell me, back in 2015, Luna fans would get a scene of Nami hugging Luffy as he reunites with her on Zoe, I would have said that would be amazing, but I don't feel Oda would do something like that just yet. Then, all of a sudden, it happened. Luffy reunited with Nami, and as she ran towards him, she suddenly jumps into his arms. The whole Luna community were in total shock, and then a sense of euphoria came as the shipping moment we only dreamed of in our headcanons became a reality. Nami hugged Luffy, and based on the anime, he hugged her right back. It was a moment that lunatics were overjoyed and loved more than anything. What made this moment a bit special was that Nami could have chosen any of the Strawhats present to hug. She could have chosen Robin, Zoro, Usopp, or even Frankie. Yet she went straight to Luffy. She hugged him, and then we find out she was crying. She was crying because she thought she had failed him with what happened with Sanji. Nami has always been somewhat of an emotional anchor to Luffy. An emotional anchor is someone you trust to support you when something goes wrong and you need someone to be there to help you through it. Luffy has been shown to be that emotional anchor for Nami, and this hug only emphasized that. The anime did a great job with the scene as well. The focus was on them, the background became a glowing white and showcased the emotion behind the moment well. Now, there has been some controversy over this moment in the shipping community, but I believe everyone will take a side about who the scene was for regardless of the author's intentions. For Luna fans, it was a scene that we enjoyed and loved. It is one of the best, latest Luna moments in recent memory, and for that we thank you, Oda, for giving it to us. Number 4. Tears for her captain, Chapter 592, Episode 508. One of the most heartbreaking moments in One Piece was the death of Ace. It shook almost everyone when Luffy's older brother was killed trying to protect him from Akainu. It is an iconic moment in One Piece and one that no one will forget. It brought many tears to fans around the world. However, it was Nami's tears that caused the warm but painful feeling a shipper gets when they emotionally invest in their ship. It's a moment of emotion you can feel alongside with your parry. The moment I'm talking about is the tears that Nami shed for Luffy after learning what happened to Ace. Captured by the weather scientists after stealing some of their technology, Nami pleads with the scientists to let her go. She desperately wanted to go find Luffy and be there for him for his time of need, just like he had for her. Nami is probably one of the few people who are closest to Luffy who know exactly how Luffy felt with Ace's death. Just like him, her mother Bellamere was killed in front of her trying to protect her from Arlong. She protected her and Ojiko, taking the bullet in order to save them after giving Arlong the money to keep both of them alive. Ace died protecting Luffy in a selfish act similar to Bellamere. This made the moment more emotional because of the cruel incidents they both faced from being protective of their loved ones. Granted, both situations are slightly different. They both share a terrible past where a loved one died protecting them. Initially, when she is finally set free, she tricks the scientist, grabbing Hadadas and running off to go see Luffy. However, it is then after a small thought came to her head about Luffy, she had a real tear for him. She wanted to be with him, to help him cope with the pain, as she knew how he was feeling at the moment. Hadadas even said that she was crying fake tears again, to which she hit him in embarrassment, a blush showing on her face. This was a strong case for Luna fans that Nami cared a lot about Luffy and how she desperately wanted to be there for him, making this a strong Luna moment. Number 3. A Luna World, One Piece film, Strong World. If you ask most Luna fans what their favorite movie is, most of them will say Strong World. Why? Because Strong World, in our eyes, is also called Luna World. The entire movie's premise, confirmed by Oda himself, revolves around a hero saving a heroine type of story. Luffy being the hero of One Piece, and Nami being the heroine of One Piece. Oda, who co-wrote, supervised the film, and made over 100 pages of rough drawings, stated he always wanted to do that kind of story and took the opportunity to do so with Strong World. What makes the whole thing even more interesting is the thought that Oda could have created an original character to become the movie's heroine, but instead decided on having Nami play that role, allowing Luna moments to ensue throughout the movie. The entire movie has many Luna hints, from the reunion to befriending Billy and riding together on him, all the way to the final scene where she doesn't want Luffy to hear her message, one that would embarrass her. We even have Luffy being extremely pissed off about Nami leaving, a reaction we only ever saw at least twice, and for one reason or another has been centered around Nami. If I had to pick a favorite moment in the movie, it would be the one where a very angry Luffy is staring at Shiki and turning to tell Nami he was going to beat him up. The whole movie has a plethora of Luna scenes that I couldn't just choose one, so I chose the entire movie as my number 3 Luna moment. Also, isn't it funny that any movie Oda supervised has some sort of Luna hint? That's weird, isn't it? Number 2. The Smile. Chapter 318, Episode 219. While this is not a moment most remember, it is one of my favorite Luna moments in the series. It was a moment during the Davy Back fight finale between Luffy and Foxy of the Foxy Pirates. A battle that, for some reason, pushed Luffy to his limits. He was battered, bruised, and blown up all over Foxy's ship. Throughout it all, Nami's reaction is what makes Luna fans feel all sort of emotions as she looked on in worry over Luffy's condition. His hands go up to her mouth as she mutters his name, and the look of almost breaking down in tears is not forgettable in this arc. However, for me, there is one emotion she shows during the aftermath of the fight, when Luffy regains consciousness from the battle. In one of my favorite Luna moments in this series, Nami is shown to have one of the warmest smiles she has ever had on her face, barring that filler scene in the anime at the Arlong Park. While it is not as prominent in the manga as it is in the anime, the smile was nothing I had ever seen on Nami's face, and the longing look made it one of my favorite Luna moments. Number 1. The Straw Hat. Chapter 81, Episode 37. Arlong Park is a special arc for many reasons. It is a culmination of the build-up to the creation of the Straw Hat Pirates as they bond and take on the first battle together as a crew. It is the arc that many were sold on to One Piece, myself included. However, for Luna fans, it holds a special place in our hearts. It was the arc that made most lunatics Luna shippers. Throughout the beginning of the manga and anime, the story between Nami's relationship with the crew, especially Luffy, was at some point going to clash in a well-written conclusion. Thus came Arlong Park. Arlong Park is an arc many Luna shippers will point out first when talking about Luna. It had everything a shipper would want out of their OTP. It had the emotion you would invest in, the moments that will bring chills to your body, and a warmth to your heart that isn't acid reflux. The moment that is number 1 on most lists of Luna moments is the passing of the Straw Hat. Nami, after learning what Arlong did to all the money she stole to save for her village, broke down in the middle of the road, hearing the cries of her family and friends as they charged towards their deaths. Losing her mind to anger and despair, she viciously clawed the tattoo on her left shoulder, growling the name of the man who made her life hell, and then, without a moment of hesitation, grabs a knife and starts stabbing at the tattoo. Her face filled with anger and voice vehemently shouting Arlong's name, Nami lost control and would have kept stabbing herself until she bled out. However, Luffy made sure she didn't do that and grabbed her wrist before she stabbed herself again. After yelling at him to go away, and that none of this was his business, she finally gave in and said the one thing she refused to say until all hope was lost. The one thing Luffy was desperately waiting for her to tell him. Help me. With her finally asking Luffy for help, he does something that would immortalize the ship forever. He places his straw hat, the thing he considers his treasure and would die for, even in threatening others to never touch it, on her head. Nami, who knows how significant it was for Luffy to do this, turns around to face him as he marches towards the others and declares loudly that he will help her. Nami, realizing what he had done, could only cry as she got out of her despair and regained a sense of hope. It is not only an iconic Luna scene, but an iconic scene in the entire series. The raw emotion, the storytelling, everything about it was almost perfect, to the point that this has become my favorite scene in One Piece. So, there you have it. These are my top 5 Luna moments from the series. What are yours? I would love to hear them as there are many good ones, so please comment yours, like the video, and hit that subscribe button. Expect more Luna videos as I am a big Luna shipper. Thank you for watching, and thank you for stopping by the Looney Bin. Bye!